So hello there everyone and welcome, it is Niran here, and today it is time for me to bring you yet another installment of FIFA 18 Career Mode in 2030, the mini-series where we sim forward into the future to see what the world of football is like in FIFA 18 Career Mode. And yep, you guessed it from the intro and the title, we've arrived in the year of 2030. We're at the end of Season 12, so we're a long way into this career mode. We're going to be looking at the best teams, the best players, the weirdest signings, all of that sort of stuff. There's so much going on at this point in the career mode save. Pretty much everything is changed, apart from Marcus Rashford there in the background, who still apparently plays for Manchester United. But so many teams have gone downhill or have gone uphill, or things have changed massively. If you go on to enjoy the video though, make sure to slap a like on it and subscribe if you are new to the channel. And if you're new to the series, there'll be a link at the top right of the screen taking you to the playlist where we looked at 2020 and 2025 in the past. But first of all, we're going to look at some of the tables, and we're going to start off with the lower leagues in England. League 1 first of all, which was won by Burton Albion on 107 points. Middlesbrough also automatically promoted, but amazing that they even ended up in League 1 in the first place. They were actually there for 3 seasons. It wasn't just one relegation and then promoted straight away. They were actually in League 1 for 3 whole seasons. Birmingham down there as well. Forest Green though up in League 1, nice to see them doing well, and Crewe Alexandra as well, although I think they got relegated at the end of that season. In League 2, Bury, Luton Town and Cheltenham Town are promoted automatically, with Mansfield Town, Stevenage, Northampton and Barnet rounding out the playoff places. No teams really that far out of place in League 2 from what I can tell, really, so I mean, I'm not an expert on this sort of thing. Accrington and Newport County would have been relegated if the National League was on the game. Newport County though with a negative 68 goal difference, the worst team in England. Over in the Netherlands, and Feyenoord won the league, head of PSV, Ajax, Vitesse and PEC Zwolle, interestingly. Down towards the bottom, RZ and FC Twente have had an awful time in career mode seemingly, and this saved their way down in 14th and 15th. Portugal isn't that different, if I'm being brutally honest. Benfica won the league from Porto. Vitória Guimarães though splitting those big 3 teams, if you like. Sporting only finishing 4th ahead of Estoril Praia. But yeah, not really that much changing in Portugal. It's all changed in Scotland though, because Rangers are firmly back, winning the league by 4 points over Glaswegian rivals Celtic, with Hearts, Partick Thistle, Kilmarnock and Hamilton Academical rounding out the top 6 of the league. Moving on to some of the players though, Paulo Dybala. He has been at Juventus for the entire save. He's now 36 and only 80 overall. I think he might be retiring actually at the end of this season. But he's firmly been very loyal to Juventus, but he's one of very few, to be honest with you. You're going to see in a moment how many teams and how many players have changed hands, if you like, or changed teams throughout this save. Dele Alli though is one that stayed the same as well, 88 overall still, despite being 34, playing for Tottenham Hotspur. Alexander Isak swapped Borussia Dortmund for Bordeaux way back in 2025, and he's still playing for the French side at the age of 30. Didn't realise his potential was so low. I thought he was actually higher than that in terms of potential, but he stayed at 84. Malang Sarr is another player who's still at the club he was at in 2025, being Crystal Palace, who were almost relegated this season. So the Frenchman unfortunately isn't really helping his side getting to Europe or anything. Maybe he's a one-man team. Louis Desert, playing for Napoli, left winger from Belgium, 22 years of age. He is Eden Hazard's regen. Eden Hazard has retired, and Louis Desert is the man that has replaced him, and he now plays for Napoli. Andreas Christensen, 88 overall and 34 years of age. That's pretty impressive for being so old in terms of, well, relatively speaking. He's still playing for City. Pablo Dibble, what a name. He is Uruguayan, 91 rated striker, 1-star skill moves and 1-star weak foot. That was Luis Suarez's regen, and he is absolutely horrendous in terms of skill moves and work rates. Absolutely shocking. He might have a good overall, but he really is shocking to use, I imagine. He was playing for Saint Etienne. Gabby Jesus there, still playing for City. Justin Kluivert swapped Ajax for Lyon. I think he's been playing for them since roughly 2025 as well. 4-star weak for 4-star skill moves and 86 rated. Matthijs de Ligt, another ex-Ajax player, and he is good. Wow, 30 years of age, 89 overall, playing for Lille over in France. Andreas Bergqvist, though, is next up. This is Ibra's regen, for those that already know, I'm sure you do. One lovely thing about this guy, he used to play for Oldham Athletic when they were in League One. In this save, Southampton brought him from Oldham, or bought him from Oldham, sorry, and then won the league with him in 2030. If you haven't seen that video, go and check it out. Again, there'll be a link in the top right of the screen. But yeah, Andreas Bergqvist somehow ended up in League One. I don't know how Ibra ended up in League One, but regardless of that, Lautaro Martinez was on the screen a moment ago playing for Paris Saint-Germain. Anthony Martial has joined Tottenham, and so has Kai Havertz, who was part of that ridiculously good Watford side back in 2025. The 88 overall right midfielder has now swapped them for North London in the shape of Tottenham. Now they were looking at some of the biggest transfers in 2030. Louis Desert, the man who is Hazard's regen, we saw him earlier, he actually left West Ham for Napoli. There's loads of regens here. I don't know who all of them are, unfortunately, but Sanchez there, Renato Sanchez going from Wolfsburg to Barca. We also had Ben Woodburn there, Steven Bergwijn. Benjamin Henriks has gone from Monaco to RB Leipzig. West Ham bringing in a couple of really good regens there. Nadia Mimiri going to Spurs. Jorge Sainz has gone to Stoke City along with this guy here, De Freitas Couto. There we go, got there eventually. There's some really good players, basically. A guy whose last name is literally Pi, that's a good one. Alan San-Maximin has signed for Watford. Poggenberg, great name. He's actually an Austrian international on this game, roughly 82 rated. He left Bournemouth, unfortunately, for them. But yeah, some really interesting signings. All of these guys really at this point are regens because so many of the real players have retired at this point. You know, we're 13 or so years into the future. There's barely anyone left, really, apart from basically the only players that are left are those that were below the age of sort of 25 at the start of the save, maybe even 23, really. Thomas Lemar has left Liverpool. He's gone to West Ham, finally, at the age of 34. He's actually been at Liverpool since 2020, way back in the day. Onyinye Ndidi there, signing for Paris Saint-Germain. Dujon Sterling as well has gone to Wolfsburg. Emmanuel Latte Lath from Charleroi to Eupen. Of all, I just found that a weird one. Like £20 million changing hands between two mid-table Belgian sides. But anyway, that's completely beyond the point. We're now looking at some of the teams before we end things up here. Monaco is the first, and if you remember back to the last episode of this, I mentioned that I was gonna bring some teams to your attention just because of how badly they did in the Premier League, and I'll be showing you them after Monaco. But some good players here. Benjamin Henriks, Clement Longley, Nicolas Sula, and they also had a guy called Caicedo, who was a right back from Ecuador. That is Antonio Valencia's regen. Ezekiel Angeleri, again another regen. Don't know who he is a regen of. He might just be a randomly generated player, but he's from Italy, so I don't know at this point. Thiago Maia there, defensive midfielder from Brazil. He's 83 rated. Yuri Tielemans, Henry Onyekuru, and Reece Nelson also playing for Monaco, so pretty decent side here, to be honest with you. Kylian Mbappe Lotin as well at 94 rated. His strike partner is Moussa Silla after Balde Dialcater, I think, left for Lyon. Now, Liverpool. If you haven't seen the last episode of 2030, career mode wise, Liverpool were relegated bottom of the table. So it's now time to investigate why that happened. And, you know, Joe Gomez is roughly 82 rated, Grimaldo's 82, Aymeric Laporte is 84. Seemingly, there isn't, I'm not going to lie, there isn't a reason why this happened. I honestly don't know why this team was relegated, why we were relegated, because okay, the team is not anywhere near as good as Liverpool's team is in real life currently, but you can see Thomas Lemar here, although he left for West Ham halfway through the season, I think, or on a pre-contract agreement, one of the two. But Mahmoud Dahoud still playing for the side. I think part of the problem is, firstly, the forward options are horrendous. You can see the strikers are absolutely awful. None of them are scouted whatsoever. Naki Wells' regen is in there. And goalkeepers-wise as well, Liverpool are very, very poor. So that might be the reason they were relegated. Now, though, Arsenal, who were relegated the season before, would you believe, as I'm looking at their team, they're actually in the Championship. And it's a similar story, really, although on a slightly larger scale, because I mean, Arsenal's team is really, really bad. Got a really good right back there from Spain, 84 rated, but honestly, their whole team is so flipping horrendous. It's actually incredible. Like, they're all just really, really below average regens. I don't know how they've lost all their good players and not replaced any of them. I don't know whether all their good players left or retired at the same time, and so they didn't get a chance to, replace any of them, but only one player is scouted in the entire team. So basically only one player is like 80 or above, so that's the reason they were relegated, because they're absolutely horrendous, and their goalkeepers are shocking as well. This, though, is Real Madrid. You saw Donnarumma there at 94. Danny Acosta and Mason Holgate, of all people, have joined the side. Emmanuel Mamana there, I think, was 84. at 34 years of age. Again, the rest of the side is mainly regen, so it's hard to decipher what overall they're going to be. But Marco Asensio, Julian Brandt, Casemiro and Dani Ceballos still playing, although Casemiro is now 38. Would you believe, and only 68 overall. Here is the rest of the side though, a couple of regens there. Mink Peters, great name. Federico Valverde, they're the Uruguayan as well at 85 overall. Domenico Berardi's aging, so is Adalberto Peñaranda, but still very decent players, and Martin Odegaard there as well. Regardless of that though, that is basically it for what I'm going to show you in today's episode of Career Mode in 2030, but do not worry, there is plenty more to go through still, would you believe. Haven't even touched upon the national teams, already gone into many teams in detail in terms of sort of the bigger teams in this Career Mode save. I want to go into Italy, a bit more into France, show you a couple more of the German sides as well, so there's plenty more to show you, probably 2 more videos worth of action from the year of 2030, and plenty more players as well who have made some interesting transfers or interesting regens, who are interesting clubs. Generally speaking, it's all just very, very interesting indeed, and a lot of interesting stuff in this video. I've said that word far too many times. A lot of crazy stuff in today's video, seeing some of the regens and how awful some of them are. Luis Suarez's regen is shocking, absolutely shocking. Nevertheless, if you have enjoyed this video, make sure to slap a like on it and subscribe if you are new to the channel. 50,000 subscribers by the end of the year is still the aim, and it's still very much possible, ladies and gentlemen. You can also now follow me on social media. My Twitter handle is @theofficialfng, and my Instagram is exactly the same. Links to both of those are down below in the description. But it's been an absolute pleasure ranting at you guys today. Have a wonderful day, enjoy yourselves, and goodbye.
Yo, Massappels. I roll out with some monsters. Looks like your team and you watchers. I do not roll with imposters. Sound like the man in the Oscars. I'm drunk off Henny and Foster's. I have a career, I am jobless. This bitch f me so hard, I might just end up unconscious. I like girls in lingerie, especially if it is crotchless. Bitch, I am the bigger picture. There is no way you can crop us.